Hi, we're in the AOL studio at the TED Women Conference here in Washington, D.C. I'm talking with Clare as we've been talking so much over the past couple of days. Clare, you've been very instrumental in getting some of the people that we in fact saw in these chairs in this room. How are you able to connect with so many amazing, wonderful people on such a personal level and get other people to care about them? How does that happen?
I think I feel very blessed that I have a lot of good friends, and I'm fortunate that TED is of interest to many of them. So it's like homecoming here as well at TED. And I believe it's also I'm from a different country. I'm from Zimbabwe. Americans seem to be very fascinated with the accents, Zimbabwean accents. So that's probably the only reason why I have friends, actually.
Because of the accent.
Because of the accent.
Okay. And let me ask you about CQ. No one knows what that is, or most people watching might not know what that is. I'm sure some do. Tell me about that.
Well, we haven't launched CQ fully yet.
We're pre-announcing it here.
Yes, we're pre-announcing it. And I'm loving working with AOL. I think what AOL has been doing over the last year is phenomenal. So I'm very excited to launch with AOL. CQ is communication quotient, so it's communication intelligence. And about 3 years ago, I coined this and managed to trademark it. And really, if you think about at school, when we were at school, everybody measured our IQ, and we all felt good if it was X. And then EQ came about, emotional intelligence, and we all clapped and thought this was rather clever. But the one thing that I've always been fascinated with is different learning styles and also energy, the way we are with people. So I realized that you've got IQ over here and you've got EQ over here, and there was nothing really to bridge the two. So CQ is the bridge. And if we could have a template with situational case studies to actually show us how to keep our CQ high, it becomes expressive and receptive intelligence. How we express ourselves, but also how we receive information, really does formulate how you and I interact. And I'm not saying, by the way, that I have high CQ at all. I'm saying that in business situations, I find that my CQ is probably above average. But I find myself in personal situations, I cannot believe how low my CQ goes.
But why is that?
I think because we go back into regressive situations, we lead through our IQ, or so it becomes too cerebral, and then I forget about the fact that how are you receiving this information? And then sometimes we get too emotional. So that's the high CQ.
We as
EQ.
women or people in general?
People in general. So if we're going to be too high in our emotional intelligence, some people can't actually receive that because we're being too woo-woo, right? So it's the balance, really. And I think at TED Women, we've been talking a lot about the balance and the way that TED Women has also just been designed here as well. Sonia Nuttall has just been fantastic because that brings in all three aspects of IQ, EQ, and CQ.
Amazing stuff. Now, your company is the communications group, right?
Yeah, it's the communication group TCG.
Okay. And you specialize in social media.
Yes.
Okay.
And I love it. I think social media, again, is really about how we connect with communities, but make the information relevant. And also wrap the information in as many different learning style platforms that you can, because I'm rather dyslexic. I've really managed to overcome a lot of my dyslexia, but it's actually, I'm very thrilled I'm dyslexic, by the way. I have no apologies with that because I see things differently. But I need to see a visual, and I also need to see text. I'm not very good with audio. So I know that if we can give people like a menu of choices, we are just going to have a much better receptive audience. And if our intention is to inform and engage, why not give more of an option?
Oh, I love that. Claire and I are going to continue this conversation offline. We love to invite everybody with us, but we're going to go on for hours. So thank you so much, Claire, for stopping by.
Oh, you've been
and
amazing,
talking
by
to
the
us.
way. You
Oh,
really
thank
have.
you.
Your CQ is very high.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Claire.
you. Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure.